Hi, I'm Yannick, and this here is a prototype of my upcoming game Tree Folk, and today I'd like to show you how to play it. Let's get started. So Tree Folk is a tile placement resource management puzzle game for 1 to 2 players, designed mainly for solo play. Your objective is to grow a tree inhabited by little gnomes. There are countless possibilities of what the tree will look like, but once you have access to all branch tiles, there's always a way to finish every branch and complete the tree. Okay, so once you open up the box, you'll see that the game consists of many different branch tiles that make up the tree that you're going to be growing. Now, there's also one trunk tile that you start with. You set that aside for now. And when you look at these branches, you'll notice they have a closed side. And when you flip them, they show the inside of the tree. An open side. The closed side represents how much this tile costs. In this case, 1 green. And the open side shows the value, how many resources are inside, how much you can spend, in this case, 3 yellow or 3 honey. This is going to be important later in the game, and I'm going to explain that in a little more detail. But first, to set up the game, you place the trunk tile at the bottom of your play area, where it can grow nicely, and you shuffle the remaining tiles. Once you're satisfied, you divide them into 5 equal draw piles. This is going to be your supply, where you can buy branches later in the game. It doesn't have to be exact, I'm just going to eyeball it. And from these 5 draw piles, you take the top tile and add it to your hand. Now the tiles in your hand you own at the beginning of the game, and you can use them to add to your tree or spend resources. The tiles in the draw pile or in the supply, you need to buy first before adding them to your tree. And the tiles in your hand, they are open to begin with. Including the trunk tile. It's also open to start with. The tiles in the supply piles are always closed. And they show how much each tile costs. Now, as you'll notice, I am rotating the tiles a certain way. You can see a little direction icon at the top of the tile, which always points upwards, or in other words, away from the ground. You can think of the edge of where you're sitting as the ground, and this arrow icon always points away from it. Or in the case of open tiles, they show a little coin symbol, but is also a directional indicator. So each tile always faces a certain way. This one connects diagonally, this one connects downward. They cannot be rotated or added like this. The tree does not grow downwards. The tile always faces this way. So for instance, we could add this branch to our tree right away. This looks good. And we can add this. If we feel that a tile could be placed a different way, or we're not satisfied with the way the tree currently looks, or if we were worried about it intersecting somewhere down the line, we can also remove it from the tree and add it back into our hand. Just need to make sure that it's not one that connects 2 branches, but an an outer branch. So I can put this back into my hand, add this one here, and add this back. The maximum hand size is 6, so you can have a maximum of 6 tiles in your hand at any given time. Now let's try and get some new tiles. In order to buy a tile, you look at how much each tile costs, and then look at how much you have. So we currently have 1, 2, 3 honey on this tile that we can spend, 1 green fruit here, 3 more honey on this tile, and a green fruit and a red mushroom on this one. And we can see this tile costs 1 red, so 1 mushroom would have to be spent. This tile costs 1 green fruit here. And, well, this is expensive. This costs 3 green fruit, 1 red mushroom, or this one costs 2 honey. I think I want to be buying this one because it extends this branch nicely. So in order to do that, I take this tile, I close it, and I take this tile, open it, and add it to the tree, or the hand, whichever you prefer. Now, you might have noticed that by closing this tile, I also closed another green resource, which I didn't spend, a green fruit. Now that green fruit would be lost, but if we want to just reverse this action and take a look at a better way to do this, because it doesn't necessarily need to be lost, I can buy multiple tiles with it if I want to. So a good way to conserve or further develop resources is to actually use them for new tiles or reopening tiles in your tree that are already closed. So with this tile, I can afford these 2. When you uncover a new tile in your supply pile, always make sure it's closed. You might have noticed that there are also ending branches in the supply. These branches close off a branch, and you can add no more tiles to it. When you encounter an ending branch in the supply, you can move it to a second row of draw piles, thereby expanding your buying options. So now you also have access to these 2, plus the ending branches, if you wish to buy them right away. This tile looks nice. I like that because it expands this side nicely. And I have a few branches that have exactly 3 yellow in them, so it doesn't really matter which one I choose. I can close this one and buy this. I spend 3 yellow to get 1 green. So now a similar thing with this tile. It costs 3 yellow. I happen to have another 3 yellow lying around. I can also add this to the tree, I just realized, and buy this. You can add it either here or here. I would like it to add it down here. And these 3 yellow bought me another green fruit. Let's see what else is there. Now this looks nice. I can also add it to my tree. Costs 1 green. I happen to have more than enough. I can choose any one of these branches to buy this. Now this divides the branch up into two more diagonal branches. In my hand I have these 2 that I can add here and here, and so forth. Maybe I want to get this one to put here. So it costs 1 yellow. I have more than enough. But what I maybe want to do is spend these 4 yellow buy this and open this one back up at the same time. So you can combine the buying and opening up branches of your tree. Also, if you just want to swap resources inside your tree, you can always do that. So if you think, okay, I have enough green, but I need more yellow, you look at this one fruit, you see this one costs 1 green to open. Close this and open this. So I'm going to go ahead. Actually, now that I think about it, I can just get these two tiles for these 3 yellow. And I've just uncovered another ending branch. I can now choose whether to put that into second row or leave it there. I think I'm going to leave it there for the time being. You will notice that there are little hints on each tile what to expect on the other side. So it shows there's a green fruit inside. This one shows we can expect there to be a red mushroom and a green fruit, and voila. Yes, that's correct. If you are in a situation where you are very stuck and you need even more buying options, you can use your trunk tile to perform the so-called mill action. So you'll notice there's a mill-like structure on this tile. And when you close it, like this, it allows you to put every top tile from the supply into second row. In an early game, this effectively doubles your buying options. All right. One thing that you might need to be aware of is that if you create parallel branches too soon, right next to each other, then later branches will not fit, they will intersect. So you always got to be aware of that, to leave some space between parallel branches. So I'm not buying this tile right now. All right, so this tree is looking pretty good so far, but it's still going to be a ways to complete it. So in order to win the game, you need to use up all of these tiles and complete each branch with a closing tile, with an ending tile. And once you've done that, you've won the game. Let's just pretend that we've managed to complete the tree. Okay, so let's say this is our completed tree. If you get stuck any time during the game in a way that makes the tree impossible to complete, either if you don't have enough resources to continue buying tiles or opening tiles, or if you've built your tree in a way that the only way forward is to intersect, then you've lost the game. But let's just say we've completed the tree. Now you can score each tile and see how well you did. The score is determined by little scoring banners on each ending tile. So each tile that closes a branch has a banner on it that gives you score. And the symbol says what needs to be between the ending branch and the trunk tile in order to count towards your score. So in this case, it's a gnome hat. So from this branch to the trunk tile, you count the number of gnomes, and they're worth 1 point each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gnomes. And so this tile is worth 12 points. This tile counts the bearded gnomes. So, and they're worth 2 each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is also worth 12. This counts the total number of tiles between here and including the trunk tiles. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This one is worth 11. You might want to place that as high up or as far away from the trunk tile as possible. This one counts the green windows. This one counts the amount of ladders, or the tiles with ladders on them. They're worth 5 each. This one counts the amount of mushrooms that are showing, which are worth 3 each. So that only 3. Mushrooms are pretty rare, so this banner is worth 3. And this one counts the amount of honey that is currently showing. 1 honey. So this is worth 1. Then if you add those up all together, that makes up your score. If you lose the game, you just count the amount of tiles that you were able to add to your tree, and that is your score. One more thing, I'd like to show you a special tile or special abilities. You may have seen this strange hint there. What's on the other side? There is a swirly of fruit and honey inside this tree. This can get you any tile with any number of cost of yellow or green on it. So it would either buy you this tile, which costs 3 green, which is pretty expensive, or 4 yellow, which is also not bad. You can also spend it to get 1 green, but that would be a bit of a waste. So if I use this to buy that or that, I just need to close it like any other tile. And I can add it to my hand. Okay, that's how to play Tree Folk with 1 player in classic mode. If you're looking for a bit of a challenge, a bit more of a challenge, there are several advanced modes you can try, as well as a 2-player mode. But for now, that's how to play Tree Folk. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy it.